You'll be happy to know that long division isn't the only way to divide polynomials. If you take a look at this piece right here, what we are dividing by, as long as it is a binomial with the x term has a coefficient of 1, then we can use something called synthetic division. Some of you may remember this from last year. This is where we only use the coefficients of the polynomials and we can set them up and divide without actually dividing. So it's kind of a nice process. So I'm going to start with the lead coefficient. First of all, when you use synthetic division, a couple of things to keep in mind is your polynomial that you are dividing into needs to be in standard form. If it's not, put it in standard form. And you need a coefficient for every single term from the highest power all the way down to a constant. If any of the terms are missing, so here on this one we have an x cubed, we have an x squared, we have an x, and a constant. We don't have any missing terms. If you do have missing terms, you have to use 0 for the coefficient. Our lead coefficient is 3. Next, we have a coefficient of negative 17. Make sure you keep those negative signs, turn those subtractions into negatives. Our next coefficient is 15, and our final coefficient is 25. We put those in a box, kind of an open half box, and then this we take out of the asylum, so it looks negative, but when we synthetically divide, it's going to become positive. Drop your coefficient, multiply by 5. 3 times 5 gives us 15. Add negative 17 plus 15 is negative 2. Multiply your negative 2 by 5 to get negative 10. 15 minus 10 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. And negative 25 plus 25 is 0. So here's what these numbers mean as far as our answer. We take these numbers and they become the coefficients of our answer. When you divide a cubic by a single power, a linear binomial, that x minus 5, you drop a power. So it's 3x squared minus 2x plus 5. This 0 here tells us we don't have a remainder, so that x minus 5 is a factor of the polynomial we divided it into. And this time we do have a missing term. We have no x term, so we'll have to use a 0 for that coefficient. So starting with our coefficient of 5, negative 6x squared, we have 0x, and 8 is our constant. Pulling this out of the asylum again, that becomes a negative 1. Dropping your lead coefficient, multiplying by negative 1, adding, multiplying by negative 1, adding, multiplying by negative 1, and adding. This time we do have a remainder. If this last piece when you add is not 0, it means you'll have a remainder. So the division answer, or the quotient, is 5x squared, again dropping 1 power from the highest power of what you're dividing into, minus 11x plus 11, and the remainder becomes 3 over what we were dividing by, that x plus 1. Alright, we've got a couple of U-tries for you. One, you will have to use long division. Notice that that coefficient is not 1, so we cannot use synthetic division on this first one, but you can use synthetic division on the second one.